Hi everyone, I'm Kaya with exercisesforinjuries.com. Welcome to today's video where I'm going to take you through some of the best exercises to do after an ankle or heel hairline fracture. So we're going to go through exercises all the way from non-weight bearing mobility stuff to the end where we'll do full weight bearing exercises. So to start, we're going to begin with some non-weight bearing exercises. And our first exercise is dorsiflexion. So we're going to go through these four main ankle movements throughout a lot of these exercises. So first one is dorsiflexion. So that means pulling the toes back towards the shin. And we're holding there for about 15 seconds. And you're bringing your toes back to the point where you feel some discomfort or you can't go any further, and then relaxing. So number two is plantar flexion. So that's where we point the toes, and again, coming to a point where you feel some discomfort or you can't go any further, holding for 15 seconds. And of course, you could do this from sitting in a chair. Number three is inversion. So that's where we're going to keep the toes lifted, and then we're bringing the sole of the foot in towards the midline of the body. Again, 15 seconds, release. Then number four is eversion, and that's again keeping the toes lifted, bringing the outside of the foot up. So bringing the sole of the foot away from the midline of the body, 15 seconds, and back. So those four movements, dorsiflexion, plantar flexion, inversion, and eversion, are movements that we're going to go through throughout this exercise routine. Number five is the alphabet. So you're going to sit in a chair and have the foot up in the air, or you could do this from lying in bed and have your foot dangling off the side of the bed. And we're going to start writing the alphabet with the big toe. So again, just working on ankle mobility in all sorts of directions. All right, so once you've got past the non-weight bearing stage, we'll move into isometric contractions. So isometric means that we're strengthening the muscles, we're contracting the muscles, but we have no movement. So eversion, like I showed you before, where the outside of the foot is coming up, we're placing the outside of the foot against a wall or the leg of a table, and we're pushing the outside of our foot away from the midline, but we're not actually moving our foot, we're just engaging those muscles to push, holding for about 15 seconds, relax for 10, and repeat. Inversion, same thing, but the inside of the foot is pressing against a wall or a leg of a table, pressing the inside of the foot up towards the midline of the body, press, 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 for about 15 seconds, relax for 10. Moving into our resisted strengthening exercises. This is where you can make use of a TheraBand or some sort of resistance band. And again, going through those four movements. So first we have dorsiflexion. So that's where you're pulling the toes up towards the calf. So I'm going to put my band around the top of my foot and then pull against the band. So bringing my toes up towards the shin, holding for 2 seconds, relaxing, and again 15 times on the injured foot. Next, plantar flexion. So I'm going to bring the band around the bottom of the foot, point the toes, engage through the calf for 2 seconds, come back and repeat 15 times. Next, for inversion, I'm going to place the band around the inside of the foot, and I'm going to pull the inside of my foot up towards the midline, sole to the center, 2 seconds release, keeping the toes up, and repeat 15 times. Now band around the outside edge of the foot, toes up, eversion, 2 seconds, relax back to center, and repeat 15 times. All right, so now that we've gotten past the resisted strengthening exercises, now we move into partial weight bearing. So our first exercise is a seated calf raise. So coming to sit, we're going to, with our injured foot, lift up onto the toes, squeeze the back of the leg, and come down. Repeating 10 times on the injured foot. Obviously, I keep switching legs, but you just stay on whatever leg is injured. Next exercise is standing weight shift. So we're going to hold on to something stable, so not a swivelly chair like mine, and shift onto our injured foot, but using that stable surface for support, so we're not fully weight bearing. Holding for 15 seconds, and then releasing. All right, so we've gone through non-weight bearing, we've gone through isometric contractions, resisted strengthening exercises, partial weight bearing, and now we'll move into full weight bearing. So once you're at that point, now you can, first of all, do some walking. So walking back and forth, maybe from one side of the room to the other. Next, single leg stance. So coming onto that injured leg like we just did, but without any support, we're balancing for 15 seconds, making sure not to lock the knee, relaxing and repeating 10 times on the injured side. All right, again, a standing calf raise. This time we're doing full weight bearing. So feel free to use support if you need it. We're coming up onto the toes, holding for 15 seconds if you can, relaxing, and then repeating 10 times. All right, for the next couple, we're placing a folded towel or another small object beside us, and we're doing lateral stepping. So I'm going to step over with my injured foot, balance on my injured foot, and then bring the other foot over. Uninjured foot, balance, and over. So I'm just stepping over with one foot, balancing on that foot for a second, and then bringing the other foot to meet it. Repeating that 10 times. All right, number 5, bringing in some plyometrics. We're doing lateral jump. So I'm going to come onto my injured foot, land, balance, and then onto my uninjured foot. So we're just laterally jumping over some small object, side to side, 10 times. So once we've built up all this strength, we want to work on our balance as well. So our final exercise for this video is a single leg stance on a towel. So coming to stand, the towel will make it a little bit more difficult for me to balance. I'll lift up my uninjured foot, slight bend in my knee, and I'll hold for 15 seconds. And then as you improve, holding up to 45 seconds. To increase the challenge, you can use something like a wobble board or any other wobble device, making sure you're not going to fall, and coming up onto a more of an unsteady surface with the foot. So that brings us to the end of these exercises you can do after an ankle or heel hairline fracture. I hope that these are useful for you and they help you in your injury recovery. Make sure to check out exercisesforinjuries.com for more resources, and I hope to see you all in another video. Take care.